Wholeness, welcome to my space, my place. My name is Rashida Silvertree, and today's topic is about the digital age and more so of an observation I made yesterday when I was window shopping for a new device, a new phone, because my iPhone is glitching out. And like I've mentioned before, due to my lifestyle, I'm not one to chase after trends. I don't get a phone every year, a new phone every year to keep up with the new device. There are actual people who do that, and I find that profoundly disturbing in a way. So I went to the Apple store yesterday at the mall, and it's like every time I go in there, which is not often, maybe every like 3 months or so, I pass by. If I'm at the mall, I don't usually go in, but every so often, every time I go in there, there's some new gadget, and it's just becoming more and more involved, I think. So I go in, and young guy, most of them are in their probably early to mid 20s. A couple of them are old tech heads, like in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Just a few. But this guy's, I think he told me he was 26, 24. I'm not sure. But obviously, he points me in the direction of the newest, most up to date, most, modern version of the many versions of the Apple phone. And this one's, I think, is the iPhone 15. And within this selection of iPhone 15, you have, I think there were about three different kinds of phones. And the largest, he pointed at the most expensive and the most largest one, which I think, obviously it's a sales tactic, but I just thought that was so typical in a capitalist, consumerism type of society we live in. Go big, go home. Can't pay your phone bill anyway, but get the best phone, right? Um, and so I'm looking at it, and this thing is so much bigger than the phone I actually have that it can't even fit in your pocket. It's about that, I think about that big. And then they had smaller versions, that I think would be most appropriate for me. But anyway, we're talking, um, and I said, okay, so what's new about this? Why does this phone cost $1,000? I said it has to have some form of like insurance or something. And he mentioned that there was some kind of insurance plan and a 2-year warranty if you get so and so gadget and this app and what that app, it's turned into a beast that we don't understand, that we have no comprehension on. So like I've shared before, my device is old. It's an iPhone 6s that I purchased in 2019. And the other night, because I also live in a kind of an old apartment. The dew from the window, I placed my phone up there to charge, and the dew from the window kind of seeped into my phone through the protection, the OtterBox that I have on it. It was a mess. I woke up and I'm like, oh great, my phone's wet. But anyway, it's towards the end of its life cycle, pretty much, the battery. And he explained to me how the battery works and how you shouldn't let your devices go uncharged below 20% because then it hardens the lithium and blah 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 blah, right? So we're talking, and because I'm in between on getting a digital camera or just investing in like the state of the art iPhone that can act as a digital camera. But the thing is about Apple phones or Apple products is that they don't have a lot of space. They have all this advanced technology, but hardly any space for you to keep your like videos and things like that. And so I guess unless you pay an additional arm and a leg for all that extra space, but it can only go so far. I've noticed that with my laptop as well. Like, you do run out of space a lot quicker than compared to other companies. So I'm walking around, and it's typical Saturday early evening. So where I live in the demographic, the mall is like the place to be, because I think without the mall, the area where I live, it just would kind of like go down a bit, as far as things to do. There's plenty of things to do. I just find that, small cities, you have the capacity to bump into somebody, but you also have the capacity that if you don't want to be bothered, you can just kind of not be bothered. That's a pro of living in a small city. But with that being said, there's a lot of people, just trying things out. But I turn my head and I look over, and there is a table full of very young girls and like what seemed to be their mom. Okay. And they all had the VR goggles on. And as the guy was talking to me and we were talking about, technology and all the new stuff, I glance over to the woman who's pretty much, it's a demo, right? And what she had I think maybe 3 different iPads in front of her, because she was manipulating what they were seeing in the virtual reality. And it was a birthday party. Oh, well, no. It wasn't a birthday party, but the guy told me that you could actually, if you wanted to have a birthday party, you can have a birthday party, right? In the virtual reality, he said it literally, you feel like you're part of it. That's what he said. And so I look down at the screen of the other tech assistant, and she's like, wow, just look how cool it is, everybody. Look, watch when I do this. And the kids were literally moving their hands, right? Now, in real life, they look like they're just moving their hands, but in virtual reality, they're manipulating the environment and touching things and moving things. And I looked down on the screen, and it literally looked like they were at a beach. That's what the virtual setting was. And so I look at the young guy I was talking to, and I said, how old are you? And he's like, oh, about 24, 25. And I said, are you familiar with the TV show called Black Mirror? This was a popular sci-fi, noir, future dystopian TV series on Netflix. But it was a television show that that aired for a while. And Black Mirror kind of, because here's the thing about the Shadow Elite, because they work with certain kinds of energies and entities and things of that nature, in the metaphysical world, or what you call spiritual world, they create these bonds and these contracts with these spirits and entities and energies. And so part of the contract is that they have to hide in plain sight, or the truth has to be about this connection they have with this entity has to be displayed, but it must be hidden in plain sight, right? So they came up with this TV show called Black Mirror, and Black Mirror had several episodes about how our relationship, what the agenda is with our relationship with technology in the digital age. And it was so eerie because it was so in alignment of what's happening now. Very, very disturbing. So some of the episodes were so deep, okay? And it dealt with a lot of virtual reality stuff. Like, it dealt with cloning. It dealt with AI developing into conscious sentient beings. It dealt with a lot that's coming and manifesting now. And so I brought that up to the young guy, the salesperson, and I said, hey, you watched the episode? He goes, yeah. And I said, so how do you feel about this? Because then when he tried to sell me on the iPhone 15, he told me so proudly and so like, he was like, yeah, now we have the built-in AI. And I'm like, built-in AI? He goes, yeah, you can tell the AI to clean your iPhone. You can clean it, can clean your files for you. It can do all kinds of things. You don't have to say, because with Siri was the prototype, okay, in a way, for the public, for the masses, where you had to say things in a specific way. But now with the AI, Apple AI specifically, I can just say this, speak this. So I'll give you an example. The example he gave me, he said that you can say, for example, yeah, let's have dinner next Thursday. Right? You speak that phrase into the text message is sent to your friend. So Wednesday comes around and you're like, oh, hey, Apple, can you tell me if I have a meeting or a dinner or something planned Thursday? The AI will go through all of your text messages, right? And find that specific text that you sent to that friend to alert you of your upcoming meeting. We don't understand what we're doing. We don't understand, I guess, the repercussions and the consequences of our choices as a human collective in the digital age. He told me that every year he gets the most recent, most updated phone. I said, every year? Yeah, I do, every year. And mind you, these phones are built to last you roughly between 6 to 8 years is the lifespan of the devices. And mine's near the end. I mean, this is really old. I mean, he even looked at me funny when I said iPhone 6S. He was just like, okay. You know, and it says a lot. It's a statement now. Your digital devices says how much money you're bringing in. It's a status. It says something about your status. You know, people will go without food or be able to pay a bill because they have to have this phone. People have their whole life on this phone. It's so crazy to me. And when I see the children, wow, oh cool, ooh, wow, this is amazing, with the virtual reality goggles. That's those goodbye jobs. Why do I say that? Well, that's how kids will be going to school. It'll be remote virtual learning. They will put their goggles on, and they will interact through teaching in school that way. Businesses will be run virtually. You won't have to get out and leave your home. They will never want you to leave your home. That's why they're creating these smart houses now. I have a smart lock on my door. It's very rare that you find an apartment building without a smart lock now. We have our smart cars now. We have smart keys. We have smart this and smart that. Why go to the hospital to take care of a patient when you can sit right at home, put on your virtual goggles? They have their virtual goggles and they give you the service that you need. Why leave your home to go teach a classroom when all you have to do is put on your goggles and have your virtual classroom set up and all your kids come to you, all your students? We don't fully comprehend what this and how this is going to affect us. Shadow Elite know exactly what they're doing. But no, everyone else, the masses, the public, it's a status thing. You don't have a smartphone? You don't have a phone? What's wrong with you? How do you do anything? How do you live? How do you get around? How do you pay your bills? How do you... It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't fit the digital world, the new digital age, you're going to be left behind. If you fit in with the digital age, you will become stuck in it. So, again, this is a warning of some kind to the masses with virtual reality. The best thing that you can do to combat the changes and the effects that we will begin to see in the years to come, meditate, meditate, meditate. Invoke silent fasting. From time to time, unplug your Wi-Fi. Turn off your cell phone. Sit in silence. Study your inner world. Study your inner dialogue. Another thing I'm going to say is about I wouldn't be shocked between all the digital companies that are coming out with these products that they don't have certain contracts with the pharmaceutical companies, because they kind of go hand in hand, right? With the pharmaceutical companies, they come out with all these drugs. I see the ads all the time. They come out with a new drug to help with your depression, to help with your mood disorders, to help with your anxiety, to help with your suicidal ideations. And what's really effed up is that sometimes the symptoms and side effects, no, not symptoms, but the side effects of these pharmaceutical drugs that should be helping you cause suicidal ideations, they cause weight gain that causes depression, because no one likes to be fat, right? Overweight due to prescription drugs, but you're taking the drugs to control your mood. And so it's like we're numbing ourselves out to not feel. And then we're blending our humanity and our humanness with, this new digital culture. We are becoming artificial. We are becoming artificial. You don't need to feel the anxiety. You don't need to feel the anger. You don't need to feel the mood instability. You don't need to feel the depression. And what are you feeling? What are you feeling? Yes, you can get through the day, right? Yes, you can get through the day. You can get through your stressors from work and your relationships, from raising your kids, money issues. Pop, 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 pop. There's a pill for it. But you're going through life numb, and then you have access to a fabricated virtual reality. What is that? I find that the AI will become more sentient and the human will become more artificial. And that weird question that was going around, about the whole transgender movement, culture thing in the past few years. What is a woman, right? The next question will be, what is a human? I see that coming about and becoming more and more of a concern as the AI software becomes highly advanced to the point where it becomes self-aware and sentient. Will we become the vessels for artificial intelligence? What would be the purpose of having a book if you're a computer, all you have to do is chip yourself and download information from the iCloud? What's the point of going to school? What's the point of learning anything new? This is where we're headed. I know I'm not the only one thinking this. I probably am one of the few who's questioning it openly, like this. My videos aren't glitzy. They will never be glitzy. I'm not going to throw in that mystical, magical editing skills. I kind of missed when YouTube just came out. It was raw videos like this where you didn't over edit. You didn't put on tons of makeup. You didn't try to make everything look the production so sleek and so professional that it looked like you had a whole production team putting together a simple message. It's all competitive now. Who can look the most professional, put together, and sleek to get the view, to get the viewer to be hooked into the message. I don't know. Sometimes I ask myself, is it even worth making videos or uploading the messages? I think it's because of my recent stressors from work where I'm questioning, like, what I'm doing, is it helping? Am I doing anything useful? Or am I just feeding the machine? And that's a hard truth to swallow. In the industry of education, am I just, I'm part of the problem per se, I'm part of the system, right? Just like in healthcare, or the complete cluster of a mess in Hollywood, the entertainment industry is falling apart. It is because they're allowing it to. When you see things completely like fall apart like it is right now in the entertainment industry, it's because it's all planned to. It shouldn't be a shock to you. All of this is planned out. And so I stress again, know thyself. Make the time to know how you think, how you react, how you respond, how you process things. Because if you don't, all of that will be done for you. All your choices will be made for you before you even know you have one. We like to run away from our thoughts, our inner world. It's scary. No one wants to look at their own demons. We just run away from fake ones. We run away from ourselves. So may this message find you well and whole. My morale's a bit low. My morale's a bit low right now. Like, is all the stress and work all for nothing? All right, take care.